Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to tell today's video, we're here for a little bit of an investigation. Something I haven't heard really talked about a lot in this community at all when it comes to the lockdown builds. So, we're here to ask, what is better? A super heavyweight 6'6" or a lightweight, slimmer 6'7" right here. So we're here to discuss this. We'll also just talk about heavy locks versus light locks in general. We'll kind of compare the heavy 6'7" versus the lightweight 6'7" as well. But I want to display this new 6'6" build to you guys in today's video first and foremost. So I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to win 2,000 likes. Now, this right here is actually a huge deal. If you make it at a point guard, you can't even get the same ratings right here because we're going so heavy with this stuff. I'm talking the burly, max wingspan, 248, 6'6". Now let me compare and contrast real quick so you don't go and jump to conclusions and be like, oh, what a troll build. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. If you go to the minimum weight on a 6'6", which you can even go to point guard and get the lower minimums, so it gets even lower minimum weight. As you can see, you end up at 91 speed. Now, you end up with also 60 strength if that is the case. Not to mention, as you can see, the rebound ratings nowhere near the same, interior defense nowhere near the same. While we aren't really upgrading the interior defense to max on that super heavy one anyway, again, I actually may be of the belief that strength and this huge body shape with an even higher weight can be really important when it comes to being bumpy on defense. So this is where we're talking about kind of the max weight versus min weight stuff in the first place. Not to mention, we will show you the rebound ratings on that 6'6" with the super heavy weight. Also, one last look at this guy before we go into the attributes. This looks ridiculous, bro. 6'6", 248 with the burly body shape and max wingspan. That's unreal, man. But anyway, let's set some ground standards when it comes to these builds. You're going to want to have quick drops or just a reliable rate of finishing out the corner. So 75 close shot, 76 driving layup, and 80 driving dunk can definitely get the job done when it comes to that. 80 is obviously good for quick drops. 76 can be for the badge point, and then 75 is also for the badge point right here, as well as it still gives the fast twitch and fearless finisher on silver. So I actually think this would be a pretty convenient thing to run if you were to, obviously with this build, your role is probably going to be smaller point guards will be on you, or their defensive liability, so to say. So you want to still be able to take advantage of their defensive liability. With that, you're going to be able to, if you put one extra finishing badge in, run silver limitless takeoff, then be able to get fast twitch, masher, and fearless finisher with one of them cord, and then boom, you'll be able to run the rest. Also, unfortunately, the 3-point rating is not going to be 85. You could get 85 on a build like this if you would like. It actually can get 86 for that matter even, and 85 would give the silver limitless range. I don't really foresee a whole lot of moving to the wing with this build though. You're really much more of a corner spot up, simple as that really, and also no playmaking. But let's talk about the defense now. So you may question, why is the 99 rebound even on a big, a small lock like this in the first place? Well, there is this Hall of Fame rebound chaser in tier 1, as well as box out beast in tier 1 as well. So for the 6'7" rebound chaser, you're gonna end up as a tier 2, which makes it 6 badge points to run on Hall of Fame. Not to mention, it's just a pain to even get to Hall of Fame in the first place because you need to be really lightweight to be able to get things like Hall of Fame clamps on the 6'7". It'll all make sense when we kind of pan over to that build real quick, but long story short, at 6'7", you have to be extremely lightweight to have the 97 Prim D for the Hall of Fame clamps. And obviously you can still get 99 steel, but again, that does go a long way. The downsides of this build, the block is lower, the interior D, we didn't even put up that high. And not to mention too, with this type of a loadout right here, it'd be so cool to run a super high strength and a super high vertical. We will actually get to that after we compare the two builds though. I want to give you guys a nice little one-on-one comparison between the two of them, between 6'6" and 6'7". As you can see, the only difference when it comes to badge tiering is literally just going to be rebound chaser in tier 1 over, say, pick dodger on a 6'7" is actually going to be a tier 1. So if you plan to run both of these in the first place anyway, it's not a whole lot of difference, to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The plan with a build like this would be to fight through screens until you get bodied really bad. Then if you get bodied really bad, you are now back in the lane and playing on that big man, playing for straight passing lanes. You can still maybe protect yourself on the interior, but this level of interior defense and block rating is not going to cut it quite, to be honest with you. You're more so just playing to play for steals and box outs. Simple as that. And really, you could still rebound too. Not to mention, it can be a really good park contribution as well when it comes to the rebounding. I have a lot of visions for this, and it's really hard to jam-pack them all in before losing a bunch of viewership because you guys are like, oh, what a trash build. But I promise we'll get to the explanations on this pretty quickly. We'll get to the takeovers really quickly, though. As you can see, we have sharp, lock, and glass. I'm going to recommend for every lockdown to probably run perimeter badge drop primary and then run extreme clamp secondary for the big reason of perimeter badge drop. As far as my testing from last year goes, it doesn't actually work ×2, so you can't drop people's unpluckable from Hall of Fame to silver even if you have double on. So I do recommend maybe extreme clamps in the secondary, but primary prim badge drop is still really good. Also, I haven't tested that this year. I'll probably get to that in a little bit as far as maybe a week or so, but Anyway, comparing this to a 6'7" that is min weight. So we have it at pretty low weight. I have it at a reasonable weight where you actually get the 94 defensive rebound right here, because if you go minimum, you don't really gain anything as far as the speed goes, and speed is pretty much all we care about at that point. Plus, for this debate right here, we're obviously talking about, for instance, things like strength, but as you can see, the cutoff for the speed is going to be at 201. So if you go to 201, you drop that speed to 86. Not to mention, just in general, like, let's just compare and contrast this. So the minimum weight 6'7" compared to even that super chunky like 240 6'6" build is still going to be the 6'6" being 2 speed faster at 89. That is actually pretty crazy if you ask me, considering that the only difference between these two builds is going to be a little badge tier like difference. I don't think it's really that bad to be an inch shorter, to have like unreal amounts of way better strength, way better just body up bumps, a bigger body frame in general. People do sleep on these types of things. Anyway, for our comparison right here, we have the 6'6", 189 on the weight, once again for that 94 defensive rebound, and then we have defined body shape, max wingspan, obviously. And we are going to be able to get 85 3-pointer on a build like this. We can even, for that matter, still drop the 3-pointer down to 83 if you guys want like true comparison, where we still keep the 17 shooting badges and keep it about as simple as that. We do need a little bit more finishing badge investment on something like this too though. So for instance, I was thinking more like 82 driving dunk, because everything else is actually like more expensive toward the build. As you can see, it gets really expensive to upgrade that driving layup much further, and then the close shot is still a long ways away from the next badge point. So you would ideally want to be upgrading your driving dunk to 82 just for the extra badge point. Then you can just once again invest 1 badge point into finishing, and that's all you need for the quick drops and the silver limitless takeoff. Obviously we do only need 80 dunk for the quick drops, but again, you do need the silver limitless takeoff to make them function properly. Nonetheless though, you could get the also 76 pass act right here, which does go a nice long way as well, but then we have some conversation to be had right here. So strength and vertical are not quite as good. We have, once again, 2 less speed. The defensive rebound, we're only maxing out at 94, because if we do go to the 99, which I will show you in a second as well, you're going to lose out on a speed, which puts you at 86 speed. Not to mention, the rebound chaser is obviously in tier 2, and at this point, will you even run it? I'm going to sit here and tell you very adamantly, no, you will not run Rebound Chaser on a build like this, because it's going to be way too expensive, and at that point you're investing 5 badge points in literally just to get gold. That's not a good value. It's really not worth it, and especially for a build like this where you're already planning to probably fight through screens anyway. The plus sides of this, however, are going to be that your block rating can go to 87 and get you that silver anchor. Not to mention, our interior defense a little bit more reliable to go up. If you want to go down to the next badge point to make it a fair comparison, it's kind of hard. Interior defense doesn't get a whole lot of badge points, so as you can see, the only 2 to really reach are at 68 and then all the way to literally 81 right here, or 83. And mind you, the difference between these two builds are pretty minor details. I will say though, the one that stands out the most is going to be, once again, that weight, that body shape, and that strength ability. Also, real quick, takeovers. We got sharp lock, rim, and glass. Simple as that. But now let's compare and contrast between the two builds and talk about what if you made a 6'6" that actually didn't even have that high of dunk ratings or offensive just in general, so that, for instance, maybe you could actually like fully invest in your strength and vertical and go super far into these things. Also, by the way, the reason our acceleration is stuck at 77 is because it's tied to Prim D being 97. Once again, if we do showcase that 6'7", like really high weight build, it's only going to max out at 95 Prim D, which only gives you the gold clamps. And at the end of the day, being some like big chunky 6'6" right here with 97 Prim and Hall of Fame clamps and this many defensive badges, and the ability to still box out like a absolute beast, no pun intended, and still have the Hall of Fame Rebound Chaser. Some people do sleep on this, if you ask me, how really crazy contribution it could be. But to do so properly, we need the strength and vertical at the really high levels, if you ask me, to be a true lockdown type build. Alright, so here we are with a very minimalistic offensive build that is truly built for pure lockdown defense. Simple as that. Now, you guys may still see a build like this as complete troll. I do apologize if this isn't really your cup of tea, but I do think for somebody out there, this is going to be looking like a really, really cool build that they would actually want to try. And at the end of the day, again, your one role on offense is to spot up on, obviously, the corner. So if you are content with downgrading that 3-pointer to 82 instead of having the 83 for the Silver Agent 3, because generally you're not going to be able to run this anyway, I'm going to be real with you, it's very unlikely. The only time you'd really run this is on 1v1. That's about it, to be honest. So aside from that, you would still be able to run blinders if you really would like to, and then you would still be able to run, like, say for instance, catch and shoot and green machine. What I would actually recommend more so though is to not even run a tier 3 and not run blinders, and just run catch and shoot, green machine, claymore, and then you could probably run some Hall of Fame catch shooter as well. And the plan would be that we don't even core badge a shooting. So let's talk about what we got for dropping the finishing though. So obviously, let's first and foremost talk about that. So we have the 53 driving dunk. As a lot of you guys may have seen on the channel, 50 driving dunk is actually, in my opinion, very like dependable and pretty reliable. I use it on my 6'8" build on the 1v1. I still think it's really good. Now, albeit that is for driving and dunking, it's not quite as much tested as far as catching like on the cuts and stuff, and then going straight up with the dunk. With that though, we still have the 75 like standing dunk to compensate for that, so some decent packages as far as the standing dunk packages go. 75 close shot right here is still getting us the silver fast twitch and the silver fearless finisher as well. And here's the plan: we'll be able to run silver fast twitch and silver fearless finisher, core badge one of them, which allows you to still run silver masher as well. Then we'll also have bronze rise up. That is your 4 badges right there. You have the bronze rise up, the silver on all 3 of these tier 2s right here, and then nothing else really. There's really no point as far as running the others. The only builds you're going to be defended by on this build right here and really want to target them is going to be a no defense 6'1" build. Simple as that. Besides that, you're just spotting up in the corner. You are not a liability when it comes to shooting by any means. So your pass accuracy is still doable as well with the LeBron James pass style. You're not a liability in that aspect either. You get break starter in tier 1. If you would like the 76 pass act, you can, but it doesn't give the extra badge point for this build. But let's talk about what we gained on defense for dropping all that finishing. We have 85 interior defense now instead of like the mid 70s, or yeah, 73 that we had earlier. Albeit it does suck you can't get an extra defensive badge point for all of that upgrade right there, but it's super cheap. Look at the difference between like 73 and then the max at 85 right here. Literally, the only thing we can get for dropping that interior defense back down to 73 is like vertical and then probably like an extra strength. Simple as that. It's not quite worth if you ask me. Speaking of which, we still have a lot of those and we'll talk about that as we kind of regroup here. But again, super high, maxed out interior defense. We now have the strength up to 86. As you can see, it forces our post control up by 1 as well. So for instance, as you'll see, if we go from 85 to 86, it will give us that gold brick ball, but watch the post control. Obviously, it upgrades that 1 extra, which is kind of troll, kind of inconvenient. But we're then looking at 86 strength, 86 vertical, paired with 99 defensive rebound. And do not sleep on how like capable this probably would be on a build like this. With 7'3" wingspan, you are super heavy on the weight, and with this strength, it's gonna be hard to swim around you on box outs. I only use 76 on my builds just in general, and that's on the 6'9" that also have Hall of Fame box out beast, but I've never even touched Hall of Fame rebound chaser either. So I would love to see what this is capable of when it comes to the versatility on defense. I know a lot of people may see a 6'6" and think that is not a versatile defensive build. It is meant to fight through only fight through screens and never ever actually like switch on to a big man or anything like that. But again, you have Hall of Fame interceptor 99 steal. You can protect yourself on the lane. For that matter too, the interior defense at 85 now on this. Still have 75 block. We upped that to be able to get the gold chase down artist. We still have bronze anchor as well. And on top of that too, just in general, crazy speed, crazy strength, crazy vertical, all that stuff combined, in my opinion, truly makes this build one of a kind. It's the fact that it still gets 97 prim D for the Hall of Fame clamps. You still have the Hall of Fame glove. I think that's something that we're not really talking about enough in this video, because obviously as a 6'6", that's still one of your really tried and true, really big things that makes your build amazing and great is the Hall of Fame glove with, obviously, like I said, interceptor as well. All 3 of the tier 3s. Now, let's talk about the type of person that would be able to actually make this. You would be someone that more so grinded to level 40 in season 3. You still have plenty of time to do it as well, but I know I'm talking to not as many people here. It's not a make or break thing on this build, but I do want to showcase to you how really important that could be, or just how game changing in general it is. So going in the test builder right here, as you're going to see, we're going to come to defense. So we want to run things like bronze anchor, obviously. For the sake of this build, we do want to run the Hall of Fame box out beast and rebound chaser too. It's just a cool thing in general that we want to just have on the build if we're going to be doing this. Now, as far as the cores go, glove and interceptor are going to be easier ones. Let's just imagine that you have interceptor cord as well, because it will be for free, so we won't have to activate it or anything like that. Because what we're planning to do is run the double core badge defensive loadout from season 3, and boom, then you'll be able to run all 4 of the tier 3s while still having 6 badge points left over. Now, you could even still, for that matter, put on an extra 4 badges or whatever you have for the seasons as well. And at that point, boom, then you would have all 4 tier 3s. Again, mind you, we're going to imagine that we are core badging another defensive badge right here. So all 4 tier 3s. You still have rebound chaser, box out beast on Hall of Fame. You still then have the ability to run like the maxed out chase down artist, the anchor as well. And let's say you happen to have maybe 4, 5, 6 extra badge points laying around off of, like, say for instance, you get +4 no matter what. You could put all those into defense. At the bare minimum, get silver pick dodger, or if you're okay with now running workhorse, that would get you gold. If you have 5 extra badge points, you'd be able to then run Hall of Fame pick dodger, or if you would like to invest in workhorse instead and you don't really plan to fight through screens, that's perfectly fine. Like I said though, this build's plan would probably be to fight through screens in general when it comes to comp pro am. As far as like park goes, you're gonna be the on-ball defensive menace. I mean, this is a tough situation for a lot of those 6'9" builds. This really could be the 6'9" killer as far as all the ratings go. I mean, you can't get bullied. You obviously are an amazing rebounder. You're a better rebounder than literally every 6'9" that people make in this game in general. And then on top of that too, you do have the ability to hang on the interior with obviously bronze anchor and gold chase down artist. That is not really the problem that you face a lot of the 6'9" or 6'1" that you play against that are quote unquote the rim runners in this game. The problem with those dudes is you have a hard time getting your hands on them, bodying them up, and with this you have the best of both worlds. You not only have a lot of amazing speed at 89, but then Hall of Fame clamps, also 86 strength to get crazy body up animations, not to mention once again just a crazy body shape as far as the burly, the 250 pounds just flexing his biceps going hard. I mean, it could be a really cool thing. So I just wanted to just kind of run that by you guys as far as like maybe if you have the double defense core badge. Again, that would allow you to run all 4 tier 3s. We could, however, hypothetically try and showcase how to run the build if you weren't able to do so. Let's just say, for instance, it would be something where you probably want to put at least 2 extra badge points in and you wouldn't be able to run chase down. It's probably about as simple as that, to be real with you, because at this point we are still investing 11 points between tier 1 and tier 2, between bronze anchor and then the Hall of Fames right here, between the 2 rebounding badges. So if you just invest 2 extra badge points, you would still then be able to run with only 1 core badge, all 4 tier 3s plus the rebounds, and then bronze anchor. And then have like maybe if you wanted to put all defensive badge points in, you'd have like 2 more points left over for maybe silver workhorse or something like that. So it would be a little bit less convenient, but you could still plenty do it. I'm gonna be real with you. The gold chase down artist does not make or break this build by any means. Also, as far as the rest of the badges, as you can see, your finishing badge loadout would look like this. We're not gonna do a shooting one, by the way, because we're just planning that you would already core badge 2 defense. We could talk about what you would core as far as your shooting goes, though. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. But nonetheless, finishing, as you can see, we would have fast twitch, fearless finisher, and masher with bronze rise up. Plenty good enough, like for the loadouts, if you ask me. Again, you're not really planning for a lot of limitless takeoff, like the quick drops, animations, or anything like that. We just have 50 dunk for the Ginobili and keep it as simple as that. And after that, you're really meant to be more of a masher. You're just going to be a problem with the close shots, and builds that are 6'1" are still going to have a hard time contesting you when you have all these badges combined as well. For the playmaking, we're in a core bronze bailout. I will say though, the by far easiest badge to core as far as a playmaking one for a build like this would be silver floor general. It's going to be a super easy time. You literally just throw it on and it does it progressively for you. You don't even need the ball in your hands at all. So it would definitely be the easiest core badge to get, but long term, this could be what you're looking at. So you have the silver needle threader, silver break starter, silver floor general, and then the bronze bailout. And again, defense we already talked about. For shooting, you are looking at, with no core badges, about as simple as this. You get the green machine on gold, catch and shoot gold, claymore, and clutch shooter. Now, if you did go with a shooting badge core, you would be able to run silver blinders, simple as that, and that's boom, literally all you're looking at. So pretty much your trade-off, if you could get the second defensive badge core, is the fact that you can run Hall of Fame interceptor as a core rather than silver blinders. So it's definitely an extra set of badge points. Not to mention things like the defensive badge would go so much harder for this build right here. This just looks fun in general. I actually would consider making this myself, to be honest with you guys. If you are familiar with the channel all the way back to 2K20, I made quote-unquote Little Big Man was his name. I made a 6'6" pure lock that played point guard on offense, or could even still be a screen setter on offense too, but then I guarded point guards as well. So I could do anything between running 5 out or like ISO or 1v1. I actually even still used it as like a rim runner who could still contact dunk and stuff like that too. And then on defense, like I said, guarded ball as a pure lockdown and was a screen setter on O and all that stuff. And once again with this, we have gold brick wall. That is a pretty fire thing while still having 89 speed, man. That's crazy. Now, again, I know it's so unconventional, not to mention the finishing is not good enough on this to play like that. I would probably tweak the build a little bit if I made it. I honestly, for some troll reasons, may even consider making it with no shooting. That would actually be fire, I'm not gonna lie, but we'll look into that myself. Nonetheless though, I just wanted to bring this to you guys as far as the video goes. Now real quick, to finalize the video though, I did say I was going to show you the 6'7" with the max weight, or at least high weight. So on this build right here, we're 6'7", and then the 230s right here. So as you can see, 230 exactly, 7'4" wingspan. This is what you need to have the 99 defensive rebound. And even still, like I said, the badge loadout doesn't look quite as good. It's going to be hard to get that. The 82 driving dunk is what we needed for that extra badge point. We already talked about that with the 6'7". And then honestly, things just look kind of underwhelming. Now, to be fair, again, you could build this in a different way. We could do it exactly how I just showcased and actually put the strength and vertical both up on the 6'7". And maybe that's where the conversation of this video maybe tweaks a little bit, where potentially the question becomes, are heavy locks just better than lightweight locks in general? Because the body shape and the size in general, and the fact that you don't lose that much speed for strength, it definitely goes a long way. So for a good example on the weight to speed ratio, we're just going to keep it as simple as this and show you it. So we have the 180 weight right here. The absolute benchmark right here, where you actually even still lose a speed, is like 201 pounds. So you need to go up 21 pounds to even lose a bit of speed. And not to mention, at that point, we're looking at 71 strength right here versus, as you can see, 63 strength. So you're getting about 7 strength for each speed, but it goes even further than that. Let's just go ahead and showcase this one. So now this threshold, we're looking at 86 speed versus 71 strength, or 87 speed versus 71 strength, however you want to go about that. Nonetheless, we're going to go up and go to the next speed cutoff threshold, and as you can see, we're going from 71 strength all the way to literally 83 before the speed even goes down. So 13 strength for 1 speed. That is a huge deal if you ask me. And not to mention, like I said, if you're going by that logic and you're a believer of the fact that strength matters on defense for body up bumps, for just being, or just in general for being bigger too, it definitely is nice. Now I will say, you need to be a little bit heavier for burly. So if you want to go into burly range, you need to be 240 pounds. As you can see, 239, it doesn't have it listed. But as soon as you go to 240, boom, there's burly. Straight like that. And also, once you get into 240 range, you actually don't even lose another speed anyway at 6'7". So you literally could go all the way to max weight at 250. This is so crazy, by the way. 91 strength on a lockdown build. I'm telling you guys, though, I'm a believer in this stuff. I actually do want to consider making this myself. And maybe not in the same way. Like I said, I would make it with probably no shooting and make it more of a troll, like little big man, inside big man build at 6'6" or something like that. But to show you the 6'6" build as well, I mean, this can even still, like I said, go to 250 max weight, max wingspan right here. You got 90 strength with still 88 speed. That's pretty unreal. And we could keep the 89 speed and do exactly what I showcased for the video, and boom, there you go. You have 89 speed and 89 strength. I will maybe update you guys on a little big man build or something like that too, if you guys want to see it. Like I said, it'll probably be troll. Not a lot of people will really agree with this stuff, and they'll probably hate on it in the comments quite a bit in this one, but I'm a big fan and big believer of this. But anyway, you guys can let me know what you think as well of the whole speed to strength ratio. Let's just go over this one last time though. The 89 speed and 89 strength. We have double 89s on that, and mind you, if we go all the way down to minimum, it's 91 speed and 60 strength. We're literally going down 29 strength ratings for only 2 speed gain. I really don't know if that's even a legitimate reason to actually go with this min weight 6'6", or even just a min weight pure lock in general. I don't think your speed actually matters that much, and not to mention the true crazy ability of this for the 6'6" is look at the perimeter defense, by the way. Your perimeter defense does not change one bit at all. That is the downside of doing it at 6'7", is because if you go the super heavy weight, you lose the Hall of Fame clamps. This build right here at the 6'6" can go maximum weight right here, even for that matter 2 ticks down, and then boom, you lose 2 speed but gain 20 plus strength and don't lose any perimeter defense at all. You could still be a pure lock at 248 pounds, and again, this goes a long way. The body shape, the just super huge frame that you have right here, it looks so cool, and it looks so hard to really go at on offense. I will tell you that much. One thing that lockdowns hate in this game is the gigantic like body shape ones. One guy I'll put you guys onto, I'm not sure if you can find him on Twitter or anything like that, but A-Dot is his name. Me and Tonic are both familiar with him. He plays with AK2, so he's very familiar with our whole little squad right here. And he was known for making these gigantic, like super just brawlic lockdowns. Simple as that. And he was a problem too. He gets super bumpy, and it's really, really ridiculous. And a game like this would fit him so good, where the weight really does not kill your speed entirely. But anyway, that is off video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, I'll keep you posted on the little big man as well. I'll probably look into my own 6'6" version and model where I could actually have like pro contacts or elite contacts at least, and maybe even have good standing dunk too. And then I'll be able to just drop the shooting off entirely. I'll have to let you know how that goes, because I also made it as a ball handler too. So we'll have to see as far as like what I can do with that and making the whole build really complete and stuff like that. But anyway, that is off video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And if you made it to the end of the vid, put lock or put big in the comments. Show support you made it through. But anyway, that's off video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.